As some of you know, I like to play many instruments, but from the bottom of my heart, I will always be a drummer, a jazz drummer. So I decided I should just Google up some questions people have about drummers and try to answer them as best as I can. In case you don't know what I'm talking about letting the autocomplete feature do the job for you. So I'm going to divide this in two sessions. Why are drummers and why do drummers? So let's start out with why are drummers? Why are drummers always in the back? Well, this is not always true. If you go to a jazz concert, you will probably find the drummer on one of the sides, and that is because most jazz presentations are acoustic. You will have a saxophone, or you might have an acoustic piano and the acoustic drums, so there's no problem in having all of the instruments in the same place, or I mean at the same altitude. But if you go to a rock concert or a pop concert, you will probably find the drummer in the back, because unlike the rest of the instruments such as the guitar or the keys, it is amplified, but it is also acoustic. So you would have, if you had the drums in the front, you would probably have them double as loud as the rest of the instruments, and it would just drown the rest of the sounds. So yeah, it is ideal for them to be in the back. At least that's what I think. Maybe it's just a convention. Alright, why are drummers so weird? Are we? Well, most of the drummers I know aren't weird per se, but I think you need to have a very peculiar character to play the drums. I guess it's because it takes lots of energy and it might be a very chaotic instrument to play. So maybe if that's what you mean by weird, that's probably the reason. Why are drummers hot? Really? Why are drummers crazy? Same, I don't think drummers are crazy, I just think they're special. Why are drummers so underrated? I think this is because some people think that drums are a very easy instrument to play. Maybe they think you just need to hit the drums randomly or something. I don't know. They don't realize that it takes just the same discipline and as the rest of the instruments, and you need to practice just as much. So I don't know. I've always thought that the reason people believe drums are in this way, it's because of how the media portrays it, I guess. I mean, if you see someone playing the cello or the piano, you might think they are sophisticated, or you might think they are highly educated musicians, but that might not be the case. So if you see a drummer, you probably think it's just playing in a garage band or something, but it doesn't have to be. Why are drummers always shirtless? I myself have never played shirtless, but I think it's because drums are a very physically demanding instrument. At least I cannot think of any other instrument that takes as much energy. So it's only natural for some of them to take off their shirt because it gets really freaking hot. Why are drummers so skinny? Not really. Actually, most of the drummers I know aren't skinny at all. Why are drummers behind screens? If you mean like recording sessions and live sessions, it might be because of the same reason drummers are in the back in live concerts. It is because if you had the drummer in the same place as the rest of the band, it would probably be so loud that you wouldn't be able to listen to the rest of the instruments. Why are drummers so hard to find? I don't know, I think it's the same reason that people think maybe drums are easy. Not many people choose to play the drums because they might not see it as a real instrument for some reason. They might think it's easy, it takes no skill, I don't know. But it is true that not many people choose to play the drums. By far, I think the guitar is the most popular instrument for people to choose. And well, it kind of saddens me because I think you really get a notion of a musical notion that you don't really get with the rest of the instruments. And I say this because the drums was the first instrument I learned to play about 10 years ago, and it really has helped me to understand music in a way that it's been easier to me to learn other instruments such as the piano or the guitar, especially in the rhythmic part. Okay then, second round. Why do drummers? First question, why do drummers tape their fingers? Well, I don't really know about that. Is it tape or tap? Well, I mean, I tap my fingers all the time. It's a kind of way to practice, but tape, it's maybe because, I don't know, it's if you're playing very extreme music or very fast music, there is a small chance that the drumsticks will slip off your hand, so I'm guessing maybe some drummers tape their fingers so that this won't happen, but I haven't really seen that in anyone. Why do drummers wear gloves? I think it's the very same reason. Why do drummers chew gum? I don't know, why does anyone chew gum? I think it's even kind of dangerous to do it while you're drumming. I don't know, it's so much physical activity that if you're chewing gum while you do it, you might even choke on it. I would never do that. Why do drummers move their mouths? Listen, just the same way I tap my fingers to create rhythms, I don't know, when I'm walking or something, sometimes I do beats with my mouth, with my teeth. I know it sounds weird, but I do. I don't know, can you listen to this? Did you listen to that? Sometimes I do that, but I know it's bad for my teeth, but anyways, I do it. I'm thinking maybe some drummers do the same as me. I have never met anyone who does it, but maybe that's the reason. Who knows? Why do drummers use headphones? It is because it is an extremely loud instrument. I think it's a very responsible thing to do, to wear protection while you do it, especially if you play very extreme music. Pinches car, such as death metal, black metal. If you're blast beating your way out in the music, I think it's a good option to have headphones with you. Why do drummers use laptops? Well, if you do that, it's probably because you're programming your drums, which is totally valid. And it also might be, well, I've seen drumming videos where the drummer is playing and they have the laptop on the side. I think that's because they're recording and monitoring, but I think every musician does it, it's not just drummers. Why do drummers wear headphones? Well, I've answered this question. Why do drummers use in-ear monitors? In a recording session, you're listening to the beep, which means it's the pulse of the song. So you listen to this, which allows you to stay in time with the rest of the band. That's probably why. Why do drummers tape their sticks? Well, again, I don't really know anyone who does it, but it's probably because of that. It's probably because you have a better grip and there's less chance of them slipping off. Why do drummers wear earplugs? Yeah, same. Probably because of protection or because they're listening to the pulse of the song. Alright, let's do a bonus round. Let's look for why is jazz? Okay, why is jazz important? I think it's important because it is one of the most creative and free kinds of music that there is in the American tradition, in the Western tradition. I think it has influenced many popular genres such as rock and roll and subsequently metal and many other types of popular music nowadays. So I think I would need many hours to explain why jazz is important, but in short, it's because it was very influential for modern music styles. Why is jazz called jazz? Actually, I don't know about that. Why is jazz so hard? Probably looked up by a guitarist. Anyway, many people find jazz to be very hard because especially in the bebop tradition, it focuses on speed and it focuses on technicality. So if you're trying to play one of those type of tunes, yeah, it's very likely that you will find it difficult, but not all jazz tunes are difficult. If you go for, I don't know, some model tunes such as Miles Davis's kind of blue tunes, you will probably find it easy to get into them, to listen to and to play them through. So it might not always be the case, but I think jazz is hard because it tries to push the boundaries of musical possibilities. Why is jazz considered America's music? I didn't know that, but I think it's because it's one of the few music styles that actually did originate, at least the way we know it now, in the United States. However, actually jazz doesn't really come from America, but from African music. Well, some critics have called it the one true American art, but I think just as any other type of art, it actually mixes many different roots into what we hear today. Why is jazz unique? Well, as I just explained, it's because it tried to push many boundaries and it still does, but I think in its own way every type of music is unique. They all mix different styles and different techniques and different harmonies to make them unique. So maybe this question is not valid at all. But what does make jazz different from other types of styles is that they improvise, the musicians improvise. So if you go to a jazz concert, you will probably hear something very different from what you hear in a recording. It's not just listening to the same thing over and over again. So I think that's really the magic of jazz, that you always listen to something different. Why is jazz dance important? I don't know. To be honest, I don't care much about jazz dancing. I mean, I just know about the music. Sorry about that. Why is jazz so good? That's very subjective, isn't it? But again, I think it's because it tried to develop many techniques and many styles that weren't so popular at the time. It was very experimental, and even nowadays it is very challenging for some people. Alright, that was all for today. By the way, if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, maybe I can answer them in my own way. That would be a pretty good idea. And you might be thinking, you're trying to do a question and answer thing with only 4,000 subscribers. Yeah, why the hell not? So, I'll see you soon.